Now joined by Harry Crutcher of the football team and one of our generalsports.com athletes of the week. Harry, coming off a very strong weekend for yourself in a 31-6 win over Guilford, 29 carries, 148 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. Just talk about the big day.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great to be out there. Guilford had a strong team this year, and we kind of knew that going in. But we knew if we took care of business on our part, we should end up with a victory. And had a great week of preparation. Guys had a great time out there, and we ended up with a victory, another ODAC win, and ready for next week.
So through 2 ODAC games, 2-0 overall. Team's only given up 6 points, scored over 30 points in each of those games. Kind of found your rhythm here. What's been the big key to success in the first couple ODAC games?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just rebounding well off of kind of our first loss of the season. We kind of had to take an interior look at ourselves, like, hey, what's the life of our team? How are we going to be this year? And I think we hit the practice field hard. We dedicated ourselves, and defense is good, doing great. Offense is doing great. Special teams as well, and kind of have carried that momentum. From our first victory, second victory, now into ODAC play, and we're doing great, hitting on all aspects of the game, and ready to keep going.
Guys like yourself had to step into kind of larger roles as the season's kind of worn along, but it's not just yourself. It's all different points all over the team as well. Eli Hildebrandt, getting the start at quarterback this past week. Just what's kind of been the message to the team of guys that have had to step up? Is it just next man up? Hey, you got your role, you got to do your job, or and how to see some of your teammates kind of fill those voids as well and realize that, hey, maybe this guy's not playing, but we don't lose a step.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a deep team this year, and that's something that we've seen, and that's something we felt confident in. Obviously, we have great guys at the starting positions, but something happens, those guys get hurt, have to step in. Like Eli did a great job this weekend. I myself did a pretty good job, and that's just the lifeblood of the team. We're deep, and we're next man up. In practice, like those second guys are getting as many reps as the starters, just in case something happens. And we're getting the mental reps when we're on the sideline, and we're getting the limited reps. But the second that our time comes, we're ready to step in and ready to take advantage of it.
If you can believe it, already halfway through the season, 5 games already in the books, 4-1 overall, 4 wins in a row for the Generals. Just kind of taking a larger step back and kind of looking at the picture and realizing the season is already halfway through the regular season. Just what is the biggest thing you've taken away from your team?
It's crazy. It's looking at it, we're halfway done. We have 5 more guaranteed games is kind of crazy, especially being a senior. It's winding down to an end, but our team's a gritty team. We're ready to take everything it's thrown at us. We're ready to fight. We kind of knew our schedule would only get harder and harder, and so going into this week, we knew we had to be 4-0 in our last 4 games. And so, we've got some hard games coming up, and it's kind of on us to, keep preparing, keep staying hungry, and keep getting better and better every week. And, hopefully we finish the year 5-0 in those next 5, and then make it to the tournament.
You talked about 4 wins in a row. Game this weekend on the road at Ferrum to take on the Panthers. How do you kind of roll that into 5th straight win? What do you got to do to come away with another win?
Yeah, it's just about us. It's not about the team that's in front of us. It's really about doing what we can. 4 wins in a row, that's good, but every single week, we've pointed to things and be like, all right, we won, but we need to improve here. And it's just another week of that. If we do our job, we're going to win this game. If we improve where we need to improve, that's what's going to happen. It's another ODAC game. It's another tough game. But if we do our part, if we keep improving like we can every single week, then, we're going to be very successful. And we're going to set ourselves up well for the rest of the season.
He's Harry Crutcher of the football team and one of our generalsports.com athletes of the week. Harry, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Best of luck this weekend.
Awesome. Thank you.
Now joined by one of the generalsports.com athletes of the week, it's Lindsay White of the women's soccer team. Lindsay, coming off a week of 3 games, 2-0-1. Did your squad go? You had 6 points, couple goals, couple assists. Just take us through that last week.
Yeah, I think, last week was a big week for us. We played a really good Randolph-Macon team on Wednesday. Came out with the tie. I think, it could have been a win, but we'll take the tie. No losses yet, so that was exciting. And then headed into this past weekend, we had two games. Came out with big wins in both of them, so it was an exciting last week. And we're feeling positive moving forward.
Sunday's win over Holland's 5 points, 2 goals, an assist in the matter of the first 10 minutes or so. It just kind of looked super easy for yourself out there. Just, you didn't have to play too much, but in the time that you were out there, you kind of made the most of your opportunity.
Yeah, I think I got some goals in, had an assist, but honestly, when it comes down to it, the team was playing. We were playing really well. We were connecting passes, we were getting forward, and that's what we've been trying to do all season. We want to score goals and we want to make it happen. So I think we went into Sunday with kind of a mindset of like, let's start off strong. And we always want to start off every game strong, but it all lined up on Sunday to make sure that could happen.
So Sunday's win brings the unbeaten streak to start the season to 12 games, 8-0-4 through your first dozen contests. Couple of big games this week, but what's been really that driving force to the unbeaten streak to start the season? Has it been timely goal scoring? Has it been good defense, or has it been a little bit of everything depending on the way the game shakes out?
Yeah, I think it's been a combination. We have definitely tried to go into every game, no matter who the opponent is, with a lot of respect for the other team. We want to make sure that every single game we're taking very seriously. Once we're in ODAC play, every result really does matter. So, I think it's all things. It's the support that's coming from the sidelines. It's our defense, making sure, that they're holding it down and getting the job done. And then it's on the attackers to, put some goals in. I think every game we've been, wanting to score early on. It's getting better with each game. So hopefully this week with some of our harder, more difficult games, I think that, we'll have a positive outlook on it and hopefully, bring it home.
So looking ahead to this week, Wednesday night at Roanoke, followed by a Saturday, late afternoon, early evening game against Virginia Wesleyan. Two teams also kind of towards the top of the ODAC standings. Two really big games when it comes down to how the whole season shakes out. Just kind of what's the mindset of the team and what's something that you guys have been working on this week to kind of clean up before the two games this week?
Yeah, it's a big week for us. These are both games that we really want to win. I think that the whole team is pretty fired up, especially for the Virginia Wesleyan game. They're always a tough opponent for us. We always get pretty excited to play them, especially having them at home on Watt on Saturday is going to be great for us. I think just overall, we're making sure that, we're staying as a cohesive unit and that we are going into every single game ready to win. And we've gotten, a good amount of ties so far this season. So we're trying to, make those into wins. And I think that this week will be big for us in determining, how well we're doing going forward. So yeah, we're just trying to stay positive and hopefully get 2 wins out of this week.
Believe it or not, conference tournament just only a couple of weeks away. So kind of what's that key to kind of get to the finish line, get through the regular season? Because when it really boils down after the 2 games this week, there's really only a couple more weeks of regular season games, and then it's postseason play.
Right. I think it comes down to the fact that our team is very united behind, the idea of family, and I think that separates us from the other teams in the ODAC. We take it very seriously to be there for one another. And I think you can see that on the field, the love that we have for each other, and the fight that, we want to put forward for each other. So I think that that's kind of, what separates us going forward. And I think that if we can really, buy into that this week and the weeks moving on, then hopefully we'll be in a good spot when the ODAC tournament starts. But I think right now we're just trying to make sure that, we're all united and with the same goal, and that's ultimately to win. So.
She's Lindsay White of the women's soccer team and one of our GeneralSports.com athletes of the week. Lindsay, thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck this week.
Thank you.